There's a thing called self-publishing, and many people don't like it, and some people are for it. And to be honest with you, I approached a few publishing companies, and I wasn't too confident with my abilities to publish with these companies. I'm pretty sure if I get an offer, there's going to be a point where I can turn around and say, yeah, okay, maybe I'll take you on. Maybe today is the day that I will publish with a traditional publisher. But from some of the deals that I was given by some of these traditional publishers, I didn't quite want to publish my work with them. I wasn't ready. So my first novel that ever came out was actually self-published. And I'm kind of glad that I did it that way, because I sorted all the copyrights in the United States, I sorted all the copyrights in the UK, and I'm currently now looking at sourcing the copyrights in Germany and a few other European countries, because there are certain legal things that I need to cover. So in each country, copyright's different. In the United Kingdom, you get copyright almost immediately, but there's no registration process. Now, I don't quite like the way that they do this, because I feel that work isn't protected. But in the United States, you can actually register your copyrighted stuff. Now, a lot of people will turn around to me and say, well, you can register it in the UK. And I'm like, yes, you can. Via a private company, you can. And also, in the United Kingdom, they don't tell you. You have to give a copy, allegedly within 1 month, to the British Library, which I wasn't aware of until 6 months after I'd published. So I contacted the British Library and I said, I'm very sorry, but I didn't realise that this was a thing. And they were all cool with it. And they basically turned around to me and they said, just send us a copy and that's it. So there's no late fees for what they were telling me, and I've not heard from them since. And apparently I'm supposed to get a certificate in the post to say that they've received it. I have yet to receive that. But no, it's fine. There is a copy of my book currently making its rounds around the British Library, which is excellent. There's a digital copy that's making its rounds in America in the Library of Congress as well, which is brilliant. It's pretty cool. I never actually thought that was a thing until I started looking at the legal side of posting all my stuff, because obviously English speaking country, America, and I'm from the UK. So for me, it was kind of like, I've got to target those English speaking countries, or at least countries where English is a secondary language, because, you know, why wouldn't you, for business purposes? So for me to get my book into the United States, I gave Library of Congress a copy of my book, and it was also registered in the United States as well, so it can be sold anywhere, any state. And it's available on Amazon, which I will leave the link down below in the description. If you're on YouTube, I don't know how I'm going to post the link if you're on TikTok. That's a little bit different. But sure, for sure, Facebook should have the links as well. So primarily, it's been pretty good. I've not had anyone, anything negative come back from it. And I think it's self-publishing, you've got more control over what you do. So one of the deals that I was offered by one of the publishing houses was, it was kind of a 3-way deal. So there was 3 options. The first option was that they take the rights to the book and they distribute it wherever they'd like to. The second option was that I pay for the printing and then they distribute it. And the third option was that they basically take the book for themselves, kind of thing. I think those were the 3 options that they offered. I can't quite remember the full detailing of it. But I just felt that wasn't for me. You know what I mean? I felt like I had this whole universe of different stories that were all going on within that one universe. And I felt that it was just a little bit too early to make a decision like that. I felt like, how do I put this? So I felt like I would lose a lot of control over what was going on with my books and my universe, because if somebody has control legally over one book and I'm making more books in the exact same universe, there should be, in theory, a couple of legal issues that could go on. And the last thing that I wanted to do was have a singular book that's being sold and possibly lose the rights to some of the joining stories as well, or have to, I don't know, plan around them kind of thing. So, for me personally, self-publishing was just a thing. And I decided to self-publish, and I've never really looked back. It would be nice to have a few of those books in certain places and just see them out and about. But to be honest with you, the market, the way that it is, I mean, I live close to a town that used to be absolutely bustling with people, and you couldn't move for the amount of people that's there. And nowadays, there's no shops there, there's no people around, everyone's buying online. And for me, it was kind of like, why would I waste resources, and why would I plan for physical books when no one's going to buy them? It's a lot better to sell them a lot cheaper. There's no printing costs, and you can have everything online. It's literally at your fingertips if you want to go and view that book. And it just kind of made a lot more sense to me, kind of business-wise, that everything was going digital. And I was like, why am I staying in the past kind of thing? So my book is available as physical copies. It is. So this is... I'm actually planning to reduce the size on this. I think it's way too big. This is the bigger copy. It's designed for people who have got cataracts and stuff like that. So this is the large print, and then we have the small print, and it's just kind of a flat kind of book. But I would like to reduce the size of this and maybe make the spine a little bit bigger. Because I didn't actually realise on my first book how big these were. And I mean, the puzzle books that I make as well. This is one of the books that I make. I've kind of messed up the lighting a little bit there. But yeah, this is another one of the books that I've made. I actually have some author copies on the way for a German-English book that I did, which is a duolingual book. It's Duolinguo, if I'm pronouncing that properly, which means that it has 2 languages in it. So it is actually written for English-speaking students who are learning German. So, yes, it kind of gets a little bit confusing, especially when doing some of the translations, because I kind of sit there and I go, did I spell that right? And is that the correct translation? And I had to sit there painstakingly going through everything. And I think I had 3 different dictionaries, actually. I have many different dictionaries. I have a Spanish dictionary, French dictionary, Russian, German, so many different ones. And then I have different brands as well. I have ones from different companies, because obviously language changes over time. And so I had to sit there and painstakingly translate everything and make sure that I had the correct translations. Because the last thing that I want to do is put something out that's being published and then find out that there's a lot of mistakes in it. You don't want that. That's a whole nother thing, because the puzzle books are primarily made to be physical books, not to be made as digital. So if there's any mistakes in them, that's a huge recall. They are print on demand, but at the same time, you don't want things returning. So that's a huge thing. That's something that you have to consider. You don't have to do the thing that I see a lot of authors do, and I think it's a waste of time. So there's some authors out there that will literally get boxes of their own books, and they'll sit there and they'll go, oh, the author copies have arrived, and it's a huge box full of hundreds of books. And, they're going, oh, yeah, I'm distributing them and stuff like that. And I'm just wondering where they're going, because I think it's more for publicity on social media than it is anything else. I will only order 3 copies of my own books. One for myself, one for any friends who want one. And then there's a 3rd spare. That's it. You know what I mean? So I actually should have, there's another copy of Castlefield that should be with this lot, that's currently with someone who works with my partner. They've got it. So there is a book missing from my shelf, because somebody would like to read my book, and therefore they have a copy. So that's primarily what I do. I don't go out and I don't get big boxes of books, because why would you? It's a waste of time, waste of money, and a waste of resources unless you've got a seller or a buyer who's willing to take them off your hands. It's not worth it. It's just like most of the time when I see this happen, I just think that's just a photo for social media. That's just a photo to make themselves. It's a dopamine rush. It really is. It's a way of saying, look what I've got and you don't. I'm not the type of person to do that. If you want my book, you know, it's online. You know, I'm not going to be rude with it. But yeah, I just think that there are certain people that do publish books, and they parade it. They parade it. To be honest with you, I know that I've got a book that's out, and I'm very thankful that I've got a book that's out. But at the same time, I'm working on another project. You know what I mean? I don't parade it. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I mostly self-publish. So I will see you guys in the next one.